So you learned to make
Oh, we're doing this again?
The
Sorry,
pie.
stopped again, yes.
the Bermuda pie,
Yes.
otherwise known as the
Well, pie
Cassava
is just
pie.
pie.
The pie.
That looks great.
So that was my Christmas dinner. So that's when it's all finished cooking. And that's what I said. That's the cassava inside, and that's the stewed chicken. This is mine. I made this.
But that looks really good.
And that's before, like, you put it in the oven. That's sort of the beginning with the stewed
All the
chicken and all
ingredients?
the, yeah. And that's sort of me mixing
final-
the cassava. Yeah, I did a little Instagram thing. It's me stewing the chicken. That's sort of the cassava raw, like all, so that's the finished product.
Right.
So that's the beginning of it. So going backwards, this year I'll put it on a reel. Like going backwards, or forwards now, to that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so as I was saying, you're still taping it. Anyways, you'll send me this.
Yes.
So my grandmother used to do it on my dad's side, and my mother did it on my mom's side. And so I was saying that first year, and that's not this one, that was just last year. When I made it on my own, my grandmother was in home, and because of all the ingredients, it's a rich, like we only do it in holidays. So Thanksgiving for Canada it would be like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, Christian holidays in Canada, weddings, things like special occasions, because it's basically butter, eggs, sugar, and cassava.
Right.
So it's just rich, but so delicious. And then it's stewed chicken. Traditionally, it was made with stewed chicken. There would be beef and pork.
Wow.
But because a lot of people don't eat pork, a lot of people don't eat red meat, most people today just use chicken.
Right.
And then you take these, you do a layer of cassava, that batter that I described, stick in the stewed chicken, and then a layer, and you to get rid of all the bones and everything. And then a layer on top, and then you basically baste it with the liquid from the stewed chicken on top.
Right.
So it's sweet and salty, and Bermudians love the
Wow.
sweet, salty, and savory.
Right.
Next episode, we'll talk about the Bermuda fish sandwich.
Wow.
No, in all seriousness, though. So my grandmother tries mine, and it said, like, the guy and the nurse were like, she shouldn't eat that, it's too strong. And she looked at him and was like, this is a traditional dish from where I'm from, Bermuda. My grandson has taken this up to the next generation. I am trying this because he needs my blessing. And so she tried it, and my Aunt Gloria, when she makes hers, she puts an extra nutmeg. I love nutmeg, so that's what I did too. And my granny looks at me and says, perfect, just ease up on the nutmeg. Other than that, you're fine. You have my blessing, we are good for another generation. I was like, yes. And then my mother tried it and gave me the exact same critique.
Wow.
This is perfect, but just ease up on the nutmeg. That's all I ask is ease up on the nutmeg.
Right.
But other than that, you're fine. Right? It's like, oh, okay. So then that first Christmas in the house without her, we always got pie for Christmas.
Right.
So she'd serve it, then we'd each get a brick or two to, eat however we want. Because here's the best thing. So, on Boxing Day, again, colonial, but we do Boxing Day. You take the leftover pie. I don't even know if I can do this in my Bermudian. I hear my cousin Jay in my head. You basically do butter, a little butter in the pan, let it bubble up, and then you take the leftover pie and you fry it up in the pan. So it gets all crispy on one side and it's better the next day. So that's the day after.
Wow.
So Boxing Day, you fry it up in the pan, serve it with a little fried egg. When you're serving it during Christmas dinner or any dinner, it's not sweet, but you either some people put gravy on it. I put a little salt on mine. Some people put a little chow chow or piccadilly, whatever you like. Piccadilly, sorry, whichever you prefer.
Excellent.
But yeah, it's that sweet and that savory with the meat in it.
And what's the history behind it? Do you know what the history where it comes from? Originates from the idea?
You know
of
what?
it?
I used to actually know that. Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
I will have to get back to you on that.
Yeah,
I used to know that. I was reading that I can't remember. I was reading
It's the
that
first time
somewhere.
hearing about this.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know it's a very. It is a Bermudian dish.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
I've
of
never
other
heard of it
islands
anywhere
that serve
else,
it at
yeah.
all. Well, a lot of times they do pone because I have a pone, right?
Yeah, but
They don't
the
put
meat in it, that's the thing.
Yeah, well, all my friends they call it the meat cake. Well, that's kind of what it is.
Right,
Because
right.
it is sweet.
Wow.
And that's the thing. It's. I grew up with it.
Right.
It is odd, yes. I like it.
Right.
I don't know how to describe. I like it.
Do you find when people who are non-Bermudans tried, what was often their
So
response?
one Christmas, Bermuda is so small. How small is Bermuda? Take the city of Guelph like 20 years ago, 60,000 people, stick it in the middle of the Atlantic. So Bermudian accent, one way to tell them. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
V's sound like W's.
Right.
So instead of video, a Bermudan will say video.
Okay.
And Lance Chapman, I want to say, he was, remember Metro back in the day?
Yeah.
He was a film critic for Metro. And I was working at TIFF at the
And I
time.
know Vance, yeah.
He's Bermudian.
Yeah.
So I was
Didn't
working
know
at
that.
TIFF.
See, I'm
Well,
learning that
here's the
today.
thing, I'm working at TIFF. He was like one of my journalists. I was like giving him videos, like his back of video VHS of screeners for films. And he's saying to me, oh, I'll get you back with that video. And I just heard that little, and it was just a little, I'm like, are you Bermudian? He's like, how do you know? And he's like, you must be Bermudian too. I'm like, because nobody but Bermudians say video.
Right.
And then he's like, and he laughed. He's like, yeah, I'm working at that. And I caught it right away. Anyway, so we end up like, we're on the phone, but we just talk a little bit about Bermuda and stuff. And then Christmas comes, like, hey, you going home for Christmas? He goes, yeah, I can't really get out of going home for Christmas. So, I mean, I don't really, like, he didn't really have anywhere to go. I'm like, oh, well, let me ask my mom. Like, we're hosting Christmas. Mom's like, oh, it's from Bermuda? He's fine, you can come. Yeah, he's like, he's Bermudian, just bring. Is he bringing a friend? Like, I don't think so. It's like, oh, yeah, he's one. So we came, and then when the pie comes around, and someone starts explaining, no, not my mom, someone starts explaining to him, oh, this is like, I'm Bermuda, and he takes 2 pieces. It was funny.
Wow. But I love what you said earlier about the tradition of different people in the family having a role of making it. Like your grandma, your aunt, your...
Oh, yeah, well, so again, as a child, on my mother's side, her mother made it, grandma as we called her. And then I know she taught a lot of, frankly, it's very patriarchal, like, what is it? So a lot of the girls, the women, while they were girls at the time, learned how to make it.
Yeah.
And my mother and 2 of other sisters came to Canada as teachers. That would be my mother, Cynthia, Millie, my Aunt Millie, 102, and she's still with us, and my Aunt Rillis, who died prematurely of breast cancer in her 40s. And my mother became, if my grandmother was visiting, she made the pie.
Right.
But when my grandmother wasn't there, my mother made the pie.
Right.
And to this, well, not to this day anymore, but I'm trying to remember the wedding. I think it was my cousin Jay and Rosemary's wedding, I could be mistaken. But again, we have it at weddings, and my mother would be asked to make the pie. Wow. So like I'm talking like that one tray for like 500 people.
Wow.
So you're making like multiples tray, like, and it's a day to do this, like it is a process. So she remembers saying it was the year after her mother had died, and she said that was the best pie she'd ever made in her life.
Right.
And she felt her mother's presence there with her every single step of the way. And then on my dad's side, I just remember my grandmother making it. I think my Aunt Noli and my Aunt Sandra also made it.
Right.
I think my Aunt Sandra used to make farine pie though. You're about to ask the difference. If I recall correctly, I think the farine pie is a bit drier in consistency with the finished product. Either that or they weren't basting properly or enough. And the cassava tends to be a bit moister in my experience.
And then you're learning. That's what I want to hear a bit. Because you talk about how you guys told your mother you want to learn how to make it.
Oh yeah, so I said to my mother one day, it's like, I want to learn how to make pie. And then she says, well, I'm making some in 2 weeks. Come by the house and make it with me.
Right.
So I did. And I mean, there's a recipe and everything, but I've seen, as I said, it is a process. And I've seen her sort of how she does the chicken and the stuff that she, like the herbs and spices, we spice her food. And it's stew chicken.
Right.
And then you have to, take that out, and like I put in rosemary, so we put a little Canadian elements in there in terms of like the rosemary and things like that. But we also still keep it like, the garlic and what else do you use? Onion is also in it, but again, it's more about flavor. Yeah. And then you let it cool, obviously, then you take it off all the bone, and it's boneless. You don't want the skin in this case, you don't want that extra fat.
Right.
And then as I said, the batter is the cassava. I want to say like 2 pounds of cassava, 6 eggs, like a half a cup of sugar, and maybe 2 sticks of butter. I can't off the top of my head, but it's a rich ingredient. It's like eggs, butter, sugar, and then cassava instead of flour. It's very rich, so it's dense. So it doesn't really technically rise or anything. So that's why you saw it's like a slab of this. Whoa.